Is YouTube fair? No, I don't think it's fair. I don't think that YouTube is fair. Sometimes you may have fantastic videos, absolutely fantastic videos, and they don't get many views at all. They just don't. And sometimes you may have an okay video, and that video gets pushed out. And you think, but this makes no sense. So, yeah, YouTube isn't always fair. But then what in life is? Who are you creating content for? You have your YouTube channel. Are you creating content for your audience? Meaning, if you have a cooking channel, are you creating content for beginners? Are you creating content which is valuable to them? If you have a channel about designing websites, are you creating content for people who are starting off creating websites? Are you providing guidance onto how to actually start creating websites? You have to always think of the viewer in mind, and you have to always think, is the content that I'm creating going to be valuable to the person who's going to be watching this video? There's a lot of YouTube advice, but I think this one really counts a lot. Think about your why. Why did you start your YouTube channel? Because YouTube is not 100% fun and games. It can be highly frustrating at times. And you can have times when you're totally demotivated. But understanding your why did you create this channel? If you're a channel about providing interview tips for people, maybe you created that channel because you wanted to help people successfully excel at the interview and land the job, a job that they love. And maybe people have been unemployed for a long time and you wanted to help them move from unemployment to employment. Or maybe have a channel which teaches people about how to learn Spanish, right? And maybe it's because you know Spanish so well that you want others who are also wanting to learn Spanish to realize that dream, because you know you also have the capability of teaching them that. So maybe you enjoy being a teacher and you enjoy helping people go from hardly knowing any words in Spanish to knowing many, many, many words in Spanish, right? Maybe that gives you great joy, and you know that it'll give joy to the people who are learning Spanish through your video lessons. If you don't understand your why you created your YouTube channel, I think that that's when we can often quit our YouTube channels. When our why isn't strong enough and we're putting in all this effort and we aren't seeing the rewards, we aren't seeing the views or the subscribers as fast as we thought we would, then if your why isn't really at the forefront of your mind, you can think, oh, I don't really want to do this. My why is not strong enough. I'd rather invest my time and effort into something else. And that's also okay. If you really want to quit your channel and you feel like you've given it enough effort and time, then maybe you rather invest your energy and time into something else. I know that there's tons of messages around YouTube and how you can become so wealthy on YouTube, etc. But I think the truth is that you don't get to be wealthy of YouTube overnight. It takes a long time to grow a successful YouTube channel. It can often take a long time to even become monetized on YouTube through AdSense. And even then, you may not be getting so much money through AdSense. And then you may think, okay, I want to get brand deals, etc. So it's not like you can get this quick money through YouTube overnight. It's easy to look at big YouTubers and think, wow, they are so flawless when it comes to, I can see my water bottle here and it's supposed to be out of sight. When you think of the big YouTubers and you think they are so flawless in their execution, they are so brilliant. And the thing is, they weren't like that from the start. Your first videos will suck. Your first videos won't be as wonderful as you'd hope they'd be. But that is completely fine, because you will get better with every video, because you will think, okay, I can improve my lighting in this video. I can improve the way I talk on camera in this video. I can be more comfortable with myself the next time I film a video. When I first started on YouTube, I was very robotic. I was in presenter mode. I was not really myself. I think I was really nervous. I think that felt like I had to get every word right, that I couldn't make mistakes when I was talking, etc. And now I'm like, well, come on, I'm a human being. So, of course, I will make mistakes from time to time. And viewers are understanding. They understand that you will stumble on your words sometimes and that not every single sentence will be highly polished at all times. I know that so many people think that they can't start their YouTube channel because they don't have the right equipment. I am using my phone. I have always used my phone to film videos, and it does a great job. And maybe one day I will move on to a fancy camera. But for now, I'm good with this phone. So don't feel like you have to have the best equipment to film a video, and don't let that be your stumbling block to actually create more videos, because it's not so much about the production of your video, but rather about the quality of your content. What value are you actually giving the person on the other side who's watching your video? I mean, even with my background, right? This right here is like a bread basket thing. So make do, like really, really make do. Yes, I could have got something really fancy, but I'm not going to spend money on fancy things at the moment in terms of my background. So the thing is, perfection, the idea of perfection, and especially perfection when it comes to content creation, can really, really deter you from producing quantity of videos. And when you are starting in YouTube, a lot of people say, focus on quality. But really, it's about when you have quantity of videos, it leads to quality because you learn as you go along. You think, how can I improve the next video? And that teaches you so much, because the reality is that content creation, when you're starting off, if you haven't been in this field before, you're starting from scratch, right? And how are you expected to know all the skills associated with being a YouTuber if you haven't created videos before? How are you supposed to create quality videos right from the start? That's almost impossible. So the more that you create, the more you realize, okay, this worked well. I could do this a bit differently. I need to include more storytelling in my videos. I need to be my authentic self in my videos. I need to not be scared to show the world who I really am. Now, a lot of the times people say, hooks are really, really important. And yes, I do agree, hooks are really important. But I think also sometimes, depending on who your audience is, I think for like an older audience, hooks don't resonate as much, because like I am 41 years old. If somebody starts a video and they don't necessarily have a hook, but it's somebody that is providing valuable content, then I'm still going to watch their video because they're providing valuable content. I don't necessarily need to feel hooked right from the very beginning. So I'm not so sure about how hooks apply to various age groups when it comes to YouTube and various audience members, etc., various demographics within your audience. Now, when it comes to thumbnails, don't overcomplicate your thumbnails. Don't put too much into your thumbnails. Don't have too many elements, like don't have various don't have too lengthy text on the thumbnail, because what happens is many people are seeing your thumbnail on their phones, and they can't really absorb all that information. So you don't want to have too much text on your thumbnail. You don't want to have too many images on your thumbnail either. So have fewer elements so that they can stand out, because yes, when you are creating your thumbnails, they may look really large, using Canva on your laptop, but then think people are also going to see those thumbnails on their mobile phones, so they're going to see it in a much smaller image of your thumbnail. Yes, and titles are important. Titles are headlines, so that should catch a person's attention, and it should be interesting enough for them to want to actually watch your video. So focus on progression instead of perfection. And that's a nice, catchy way to put it. Because I think when I first started off, I was really into the idea of perfection. I felt like I couldn't publish a video if it didn't meet these specific requirements or criteria. And then I learned that, you know what, I'm just investing far too much energy and time into a single video, and to rather see YouTube as a marathon and not a sprint, because I'm in it for the long game. And if I continue to feel like that about every single video, I will suffer from burnout. And burnout is an absolute real thing, because people think, oh, YouTube can be just so wonderful and it's easy and it's so much fun. But no, you're putting so much effort, so much thought, so much planning, so much of your time into being a YouTuber that you can often feel burnt out from it, especially when you aren't seeing results as fast as you thought you would. Now, why do people always say post consistently? And I say this too, so I'm guilty of it too. Because posting consistently does matter. And, out of sight, out of mind. If people are not seeing your thumbnails and seeing that you're creating more videos, then what are they going to click on? So by posting consistently, you have a higher chance of being seen. You have a higher chance of your videos being watched. So what helps me when it comes to recording videos is to batch record. So this is my second video for today. And I just think that batch recording helps, because then I know today I'm going to record this number of videos. It helps me to keep a schedule. I've always been somebody who likes to-do lists, who have schedules, because it then makes me feel in control of my time, in control of how my week will look like. And then I know that I'm more likely to actually create the content, publish the content, etc. So think about having a schedule for yourself. See what works best for you. Test different styles, different lengths of videos, etc. Normally on this channel, my videos are about 13 minutes or over 8 minutes, etc. But this particular video is going to be my longest video on this channel yet. And let's just see how it works, Comment below and let me know, what advice would you give to other YouTubers? What has been the thing that has helped you the most with your YouTube journey? What do you find the most challenging with your YouTube journey? Let us know, because, YouTube, how often do you meet other YouTubers in real life? I know for me, my circles are people who don't even know much about YouTube. So it's interesting to have other people's perspectives about content creation on this particular platform. So analytics when it comes to YouTube is very important. It's important to understand what it's all about. What is click-through rate? What are impressions? And don't feel like you have to know everything in one go. There's a lot to get through, but don't feel like you have to learn everything in a few days, weeks, or even months. You can take your time with learning. You can take years to learn YouTube. YouTube is always evolving, so there's always new things to learn. But understanding your analytics is helpful, because you can see, okay, if this video did well, let me double down on these videos and let me create more videos, similar videos. So for example, if you created a cooking video about how to cook as a beginner, right? A beginner cooking video. Then okay, and this did really well. Maybe I should create more content to help beginners with cooking, because this has really resonated with my audience. Or perhaps you have a video about homeschooling and how to get started with homeschooling. So maybe you should create more videos about how to get started. So you can double down on videos that have worked well. And with analytics, it also teaches you how to understand your audience, right? Their demographics, their age, which countries they live in, etc. And understanding your audience is really helpful, because not only should you know their age and where they live, etc., but you should also understand how they think. What problems are they facing? Because if you know their problems, then maybe you can come up with possible solutions for them. So understanding your audience is very, very important. You know what? Slow growth is normal. Let's normalize that. Slow growth is normal. We often think that we're going to shoot for virality, but we may see that in our feed and then we think, oh, why aren't our videos going viral? But for the majority of YouTubers, their videos don't go viral. The majority appreciate and understand slow growth. They may have been frustrated with it, but in time they understood that slow growth also helps you reach your milestones. Engage with your audience in the comments because it helps to have two-way communication. I mean, YouTube is such a brilliant platform. Yes, I find it frustrating at times, but it's also really brilliant in the sense that we are connecting with people from all over the world. And yes, I'm alone in this room right now talking to my phone, but one day somebody will be watching, and I hope you'll comment and say hi. And and that's so powerful. I mean, just a few decades ago, we didn't have this possibility because it was all about mainstream media. It was all about you had to get through so many barriers of entry to even be in the media space. Like, for example, if you want to have a TV ad, that would cost so much and still does. But with YouTube, it is free to create content on YouTube. And what we're asking from the viewer is not to pay to watch, but to use their time to watch our content. And that's valuable. So they are using their time to watch content. So do talk back to them in the comments and engage with them. People love listening to stories. I know that theoretically, but I am still trying to incorporate storytelling into my videos. I don't know why it seems to not come naturally to me, but when I'm with friends and families, it definitely does. And I think that's just a learning curve for me. So if you share your stories, it can be a powerful way of connecting with your audience. I think for YouTube, a great deal of all of this, honestly, is about mindset. Having a positive mindset about content creation, understanding that you won't be positive about it all the time. Absolutely not. But understanding that it is something that you are stepping out of your comfort zone for one. Being on video is not for the faint-hearted. It can be really scary to be on video and for potentially millions of people to be watching you. And the weird thing is that we want to be seen. Yes, we want our videos to have high reach, but we're also scared of being seen. We are scared of being criticized. We're scared of being judged for simple things like maybe how we look, etc., or how we sound. And those are normal things. Our fears can be so similar. We may think, oh, I'm so different from that person. But the reality is that we often share the same fears. And those fears come to the forefront when we become YouTubers, when we become content creators, because we are putting ourselves out there. We are putting ourselves out there. So to be kind to ourselves on this journey, to be kind and patient, oh my goodness, patience is a huge one, because for me personally, I am not a patient person. I'm actually quite impatient. I am very proactive and I love seeing results. And when I don't see results, I can get highly frustrated. And then I try to find every sort of solution to navigate that. And sometimes those solutions don't work and I have to go back to the drawing board. But I'm learning to be more patient. So retention is important, but what's retention? It's about how long people are actually watching your videos. If people only watch your video for like 10 seconds and your video is a 10-minute video, then that tells YouTube or the algorithm that this video isn't getting enough engagement for a long period of time. But if a person who watches 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes of your 10-minute video, then the algorithm will push out your video to more people because that video is now performing well, because the retention is great on that video. Now, a lot of times people think that the algorithm hates them. And yes, I'm guilty of this too, because sometimes it can feel like that. It can feel like, oh, the algorithm does not like me. It is not pushing out my content. Why am I bothering with this? I completely understand. But the algorithm is just trying to push out content that viewers want. So if your videos are engaging and provide value and people are watching for a long period of time, then your videos will be pushed out to more people to watch. And if those if your video continues to perform well, then YouTube will continue to push your video out. Don't take the algorithm personally, but I understand if you sometimes do, because I do too. Now, what's CTR? That's click-through rate. Such technical terms, hey? But basically, just say you have your thumbnail, right? And people can see your video, your thumbnail, and if it's shown to 1,000 people, right, and a percentage clicks on it, a high percentage clicks on it, then you have a high CTR, a high click-through rate. Similarly, if you have very few people clicking on your video, then you have a low CTR. But this doesn't mean to say that if you have a high CTR, many people clicked on your video, that means your video is necessarily performing well. Because you could have a thumbnail which is fascinating to people, but maybe the content of that video wasn't great. So they clicked on the video, they watched for only 10 seconds of a 10-minute video, and then they left. So that video is actually not performing well, even though you have a high CTR, a high click-through rate, because perhaps the thumbnail was really, really, really interesting. That's why people say be careful of clickbait thumbnails, because if you want to create a clickbait thumbnail, make sure that your video also has value, so that when the person does click on that video because of that thumbnail, they stay because of the value of the content of your video. Okay, so you have your niche. For example, your niche is about gardening. Watch other people's channels in your niche. See what worked well for them, especially if you're starting off and you watch another channel and they have 100 subscribers. This particular video has 20,000 videos. Well, what worked well in that video? Then you can make your version of that video, because if it worked well for them, try and see if it will work well for you as well. So look at your competitors, not to make you feel bad about yourself, but to rather think, okay, what worked well in their channel? What can I incorporate? Also, what doesn't work well in their channel, so that I don't incorporate that in my channel necessarily. So look at that, and you can get many, many ideas, even for videos. You'll hear a term called ideation. What is ideation? Ideation is basically coming up with video ideas. For example, if your channel is about, let's say, it's about learning how to, now I'm thinking of something. So just say your channel is all about public speaking and how to be a better public speaker. Your video ideas can be about how to start public speaking, how to improve public speaking. Here are 10 tips. Ways in which you can practice public speaking. You know, here are some ideas. Maybe you can join certain groups. Maybe you can speak at family events, etc. So ideation is about that, creating video ideas, right? And the more ideas that you have, then it makes it easier to create the content, because you can have those ideas typed out in a Google document. And that's what I do. I have a Google document, and it's like it says calendar videos. So I have a long list of videos that I want to create. And it's helpful to find some of these ideas by looking at your competitors and seeing what worked well, and then creating your version of it. Read the comments from your audience, because they're telling you what they want, what they need. And maybe you can even use some of the ideas that they have typed in with their comments, because maybe they'll say, I really loved your video on how to fix a car. Can you teach me about this aspect of fixing a car, for example? So there you have another idea, a video idea right there from your viewer. Learn about A/B testing. Now, what's A/B testing? A/B testing is where you can actually test your thumbnails, and you can do this with YouTube. You can upload 3 different thumbnails, and YouTube will push out those thumbnails with your video, and it'll tell you which video performed the best, and then it will take the best video and it will continue to push out that one after it's done the test, right? So initially all 3 different thumbnails will be pushed out to different people. Now here's really brutal advice. The thing is most YouTubers quit. You can go to some channels and you'll see, oh, okay, they were creating quite a lot of content, and then they've quit. And yeah, it's true, because the thing is, YouTube takes a great deal of time, great deal of effort, great deal of focus, great deal of commitment. And you can have your family life, you can have your personal life, you can have your career. So it's a lot to juggle. It can be a lot to juggle. And if you aren't seeing results, it can be really demotivating. You could feel like, oh, why am I continuing on this path when the rewards are so far away? It's not really within my reach. And you can start thinking like that. So I understand when you see that people have quit their channels, that you think, am I also going to quit because I'm not seeing results? You have to ask yourself, is it worth it for you? And you have to go back to your why. Why did you create the channel? And it's not the worst thing in the world to quit your YouTube channel. Absolutely not. In life, we have choices. We can continue on a path, we can deviate, or we can come back to it later. I can't say there's a right and wrong answer. You will know what's right for you, because we are all different. I can't say to you, don't quit your channel, because I don't know your circumstances. I don't know what other pressures you have in your life. Only you know that. Only you can assess that. The other truth is that many times we don't want to put ourselves on a platform like YouTube, because we feel like at some point we will get negative comments. And who wants to read negative comments when we've already stepped out of our comfort zone, when we're already trying to face fear in the face and to do it anyway? And here we have somebody commenting negatively about the content that we've produced. Nobody wants that. But I will always say that I think hurt people. So that don't take that comment personally. If it's constructive feedback, then look at that. But if it's just somebody being nasty for the sake of being nasty, don't give it any time. You can either delete the comment, hide the comment, etc. That person is probably a sad person. And I feel sad for them. Because if you're taking time out of your day to just be nasty to another person, it says more about you than the person that you're directing that comment towards. To maintain your peace, do take breaks. Do take breaks from YouTube. YouTube is not everything in life. Please understand that. And it's something I'm telling myself too. YouTube is not everything in life. It is part of your life, and it is not your whole life. Don't be stuck with one thing. With YouTube, things change a lot. So if something is working well and you think, oh, maybe I should try it, don't hesitate to try it. Try it and see what happens. Sometimes we think if we try new things, oh, the world's going to change so much. And then we try it and the world is basically still the same. So if you want to try something new with your YouTube channel, try it. What I will say, in addition to everything else that I've said, is that YouTube is definitely for everyone. From the perspective of somebody watching YouTube, a viewer, and also from the perspective of somebody creating content as a YouTuber. Because for a long time, I'm 41, almost going to be 42. For a long time, I thought, YouTubers, they are young. There's no space for me on YouTube because I'm an older creator. I'm an older YouTuber. I'm 41, almost 42. And I had to rethink this and get rid of my own bias, because there are older YouTubers on this platform, and it's fantastic because I love listening to older YouTubers or YouTubers who are my age. I gain so much value from watching them. And I had to say to myself, you know what? I really want to do this. Do it. Don't feel like one day you're going to sit back and say, I could have had a YouTube channel, but I didn't. I could have started a YouTube channel, but I didn't. We often regret the things that we don't do than the things that we do. And remember, you can start your channel and you can quit your channel, and that's fine. But at least you tried. So take a chance on yourself. Take a chance on your creativity and have fun. That's my biggest message. Have fun when you're creating your videos, Because what's the point if you're not going to have fun? What's the point if it's going to just be another slog? And in life, you have things that are stressful enough. So let YouTube, yes, it can be stressful, but have fun. And also watch this video where I'm far more cheerful than this, in a video about how to talk on camera. I think you'll enjoy it.